Well, I became a star because I was bullied as a kid and I wanted to be accepted, you know? I was like, I want to be famous. I just wanted to be famous when I was a kid because I had this bully that would pick on me all the time. And of course that's the wrong reason to become an actor and want to be famous, but I just remember, really wanting to do that, to prove to this guy that I was something.
Estreno. Con Gaby Cam y Javier Ibarreche.
Hi, John. How are you?
Hello. Hi, Daniela. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, and congratulations for your for participating in this show.
Muchas gracias.
Your Spanish is great, eh?
Thank you.
I have to say. I would like to know, what were your thoughts of the show before joining the cast? Were you already a fan, or what have you heard of the show before?
Yeah, I remember seeing the poster and seeing like, who's that hot girl? And it was Kristen Wiig, and that great poster, that colorful poster they had. I just loved the aesthetic of the show, and I watched a couple, and I was like, oh, that's so wild, It was sort of different than I thought it would be. Excuse me, but when I got the call to do it, I was like, what's the role? And they said, well, you're playing this Dr. Dusty Magic. I'm like, I'm in. I said, what does he do? He's a lawyer / gynecologist. I'm in. Who do I work with? Kristen Wiig. Yeah, where do I, what day do I start? It was just one of those dream jobs that you get to come on the set and work with, the best cast on television, and some comedic geniuses, Carol Burnett and Kristen, and it's just been a thrill,
Yeah, and I'm glad you are in the show. And also, Palm Royale explores how much of yourself you are willing to sacrifice to get what you want, or to be accepted in a certain group. So I was wondering, from this point of view, have you done something wild to get a role or to be part of something in your career?
That's a good question. I don't have any crazy stories like dressing up, like Catwoman or something. But when I want a role, I really sort of go after it if it's available. But I haven't done anything super that I can remember.
Or maybe in your daily life, just to be like accepted in some way, or.
Well, I became a star because I was bullied as a kid and I wanted to be accepted. I was like, I want to be famous. I just wanted to be famous when I was a kid because I had this bully that would pick on me all the time, and of course that's the wrong reason to become an actor and want to be famous. But I just remember, really wanting to do that, to prove to this guy that I was something.
Wow, and you became such a great actor, so I think that's great.
It hit me halfway through, I think, my career. Probably was like, wait a minute, this is about the craft, and I better get good at it, and so I remember in the middle of, not that long, 20 years ago, I just went back to class. I went to New York and did a bunch of theater, and, it was time to become an actor. And then, then you get opportunities like this to work with, such greats on such a quality show.
Yeah, that's very inspiring. Thank you for sharing that information.
Oh.
And also, do you remember like something that happened behind the scenes that perfectly represents the spirit of the show?
Well, they were very playful. They would just let you play, and I would come to the set with ideas every day, and they would go, yeah, do that, do that, do that. I had this scene where I was, it said in the script, I pour her a drink and put some flowers in a vase, and the flowers, they had these long stems, and I'm a drummer, and so I grabbed them, I started spinning them around like drumsticks, and I started throwing the bottles up like I'm in, Tom Cruise from Cocktail and stuff, and they just loved it. I said, is this too much? They said, no, keep going, keep going. It was a very playful, fun set, and I'm at this point in my career where I'm pretty fearless now, and if I'm just gonna try anything, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, we'll do something else. But people, they respond to, especially a crew at a cast like this. They're like, bring it, bring it. I would sit there and throw hardballs at Kristen, and she'd catch it and throw it right back at me. So it was kind of thrilling to do scenes like that.
Wow, that's great. Do you think that comes from experience or with age, or it was just like fun stuff to do?
No, I think it's that. I think it's age and experience and trusting yourself, and not, just not worrying about how I look or what angles or what, it's just like, it really comes down to listening, and Kristen's a great listener because you do the script, but then they were very, they would let you sort of play around with stuff, or they'd throw jokes at you from the set. Abe Silva, who's the producer and writer, would just throw these great jokes, and you just throw them right in and stuff. But you have to be present, and you have to, you know, you can't phone anything in, especially with these kind of people. But you don't. I don't want to anymore. I want to be there. I want to be the best I could be. You know.
John, thank you very much for having me. It was such a pleasure to talk to you.
Mucho gusto.
The off season. Oof, she's a killer.
Then it's all just a little bit. Con Gaby Cam y Javier Ibarreche.